Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we will be presenting Mariposas, a game in which we will guide monarch butterflies on their journey along eastern North America. It is a very colorful game, suitable for people over 14 and with a length of 45 to 75 minutes. Let's see what Mariposas is about. This time, in addition to the regular rulebook, we also find one large map board, which will be used to move our butterflies, and a way station board for the life cycle way station cards and the life cycle ability tokens. We also have 5 score markers and 50 wooden butterfly markers, 10 of each color, 1 flower die and 120 flower tokens, 16 way station tokens and 60 life cycle way station cards, 20 season goal cards, 5 for spring, 10 for summer, and 5 for autumn, and 6 life cycle ability tokens, 36 action cards and 15 bonus move way station cards, and 10 custom trays, 5 of each type. First, we should place the map board in the center of the play area. Then, we will randomly place 3 season goal cards face down on the map board, 1 for each season. Next, we will shuffle the 16 way station markers and place 1 face down on each of the cities. Next to the map board, we will place the way station board. There are cards that depict the life cycle of butterflies divided into colors, each representing a season. Therefore, there will be cards for eggs, caterpillars, chrysalides, and adults. We must place them in the indicated spaces on the way station board. On this board, we will also randomly place 3 of the 6 life cycle ability tokens face up. The other 3 will be discarded. Players who successfully manage to collect a set of life cycle cards will benefit from these rewards. That is, if someone manages to collect all 4 cards of the spring life cycle, they will benefit from the ability written on the token next to the spring life cycle cards. Bonus move way station cards should be placed next to the way station board in 3 stacks divided by type. Later we will see how to obtain these cards. We must shuffle and set out the action cards in a face-down deck within the reach of all players and deal 2 action cards to each player. The flower tokens and the flower die will also be placed where everyone can reach them. Then, each player takes the butterfly and the score markers of the color they have chosen. Players will sort the butterflies from their supply by generation 1 through 4. Then they will put their butterflies on the map board, the only generation 1 butterfly on the large Michoacan space at the bottom of the map, 1 generation 2 butterfly on the face-down summer goal card, and 2 generation 3 butterflies on the face-down autumn goal card. Finally, place the score markers on the beginning of the score track on the map. Flip the spring card face up and we will be ready to start playing. The game is divided into 3 seasons, each of which has several rounds. Spring has 4, summer 5 and autumn 6, as indicated on the map board. In spring, the face-up goal card will award players points if they manage to achieve what's shown on it. For example, in this case, the first goal means that if you have at least 2 butterflies on the map and no butterflies at all below Atlanta, you score 4 points at the end of the spring. With the second goal, players who have at least 1 butterfly on yellow, orange and green spaces score 4 points at the end of the season. The rest of the goals are explained in the rulebook. The first thing we should do is play an action card from our hand. Action cards tell us how many moves we can do during our turn and the number of butterflies we are allowed to use. For example, if we have the following action card, we will have 2 moves of 2 spaces each. In this case, we could use the same butterfly twice. As we land on the 2 different grids, we will collect the rewards that are shown on them. Since we have landed on a purple flower and then on a pink one, we have to take a flower token from the supply for each of them. We could also choose to move 2 different butterflies, moving each of them 2 spaces on the board. In this example, the first butterfly lands on a purple flower, whereas the second one on a white one. As you can see, several butterflies can share the same grid at the same time. With this action card, we also have 2 moves that could be done with 1 or 2 butterflies. This time, with our first move, we land on a city. As you can see, there are way station markers on the cities of the map. These markers hide 3 possible rewards. We might collect a bonus card. These cards can be used whenever we want during our turn. There are 3 different types of bonus cards hidden in 3 cities of the map. We could also find markers that give us life cycle cards. If we manage to get the 4 cards of any of the seasons, green, pink or blue, we will get the benefit zone next to that set on the way station board. In addition, players will be given a point for each card they have obtained during the game. Last, there is one way station marker with a wildflower on the map. Any player can land there and gather the flower of their choice. Let's go back to the moves of this action card. On the back of this way station marker, there is a green adult butterfly. Therefore, we should take the corresponding card from the way station board. In addition to flipping the way station marker, the first player to land on a city also rolls the flower die to get a flower token. This time, we get a red one. In this example, the player decides to use the same butterfly for the second move of the card to jump 3 spaces. As they land on a white flower, they collect a white flower token from the supply. With this other action card, we can only move one of our butterflies. It will jump 4 spaces. In this example, it lands on a red flower, getting the corresponding token from the supply. Additionally, as indicated on the card, we can choose one of the flowers from adjacent grids to the one we have landed on to pick from the supply. In this case, the player decides to take the purple flower. What's more, the space our butterfly has landed on is next to a milkweed icon. Each time we land next to this icon, we can also hatch a new butterfly. To hatch a butterfly from the following generation, we will have to pay a cost that will vary each season. Generation 2 butterflies will hatch in spring, Generation 3 in summer, and Generation 4 in autumn. Both butterflies will be independent and will move separately. However, there is an exception. Generation 4 butterflies are able to hatch 2 Generation 4 butterflies at once. If you flip a Generation 4 butterfly marker, you will discover these double butterflies. These butterflies have the advantage of moving as a single marker and count as 2 towards goals, so they are really powerful. Bear in mind that the hatching cost is different each season, as shown on the map board. In spring, you will have to use 2 flowers of the same type or 3 of any type. In summer, 3 flowers of the same type or 4 of any type. And in autumn, 4 flowers of the same type or 5 of any type. Players have to take the butterfly markers placed on the season gold cards before the ones from their supply. If the last butterfly from a season gold is removed, flip the card over to reveal the scoring goals for the following season. Although they won't be scored now, knowing them will help us to work out the strategies for the following season. There are also 2 special action cards. One will allow us to reuse one of the action cards that we have previously played, and the other will let us reuse one of the action cards that one of our opponents has played. In short, during your turn, you will play an action card to move your butterflies around the board. These will allow you to take the flower tokens shown on the grid you land, get the rewards from the way station tokens of the different cities, and hatch in the event that you land next to a milkweed icon. All played action cards stayed face up in front of the players until the end of the season to track the number of turns they have already had. At the end of their turn, players have to draw a card to refill their hand. If after refilling their hands, a player has 2 of the same action cards, they can trade one or both for replacements. At the end of each season, players should follow these steps before starting the next one. At the end of spring, players will discard all the action cards played during the season and score the goals shown on the spring card. Summer's first player will be the one with the fewest total points at the end of spring. If players still have any Generation 2 butterflies that are not on the map board, they may hatch one for free and put it on top of the Generation 1 butterfly. Last, remove all Generation 1 butterflies from the map and reveal the Summer Gold card if it has not been revealed yet. At the end of summer, follow the same steps. Remove all action cards and score the goals of the Summer Gold card. Determine Autumn's first player, and if you have any Generation 3 butterfly, you may hatch one for free on top of any of your Generation 2 butterflies. Finally, remove all Generation 2 butterflies from the map and flip the Autumn Gold card if it has not been done yet. After all players have taken 6 autumn turns, the game will be over. Players should first score the goals shown on the Autumn Gold card. Then, add the points for the number of Generation 4 butterflies that are in Michoacán according to the table on that area of the board. Remember that double Generation 4 butterflies count as 2. Players will also get 1 point for each way station life cycle card they have collected. The player with the most points after all 3 seasons will be the winner. Mariposas keeps the essence of Elizabeth Hargrave's masterpiece Wingspan. Having goals that change every time you play makes the game totally different each time you play it. In addition, the game is very dynamic since you must adapt your strategies during the game as the goal cards are flipped. A lot of attention has been paid to detail, and the theme is implemented very well. At first, the rules seem to be a little bit confusing due to the names of the long list of components, but the truth is that once you get used to them, it's actually quite easy to play and very intuitive. Perhaps the boards are a little bit oversized, especially the Waystation board, which we don't think is necessary. Players are forced to find a large surface to play on. The first game we played lacked a little bit of emotion, but the truth is that in the following ones tension was present until the last move. In two-player games, flipping all the Waystation markers won't be as easy as in games with more players. Therefore, collecting the 4 life cycle cards will be harder. If you like Wingspan, then Mariposas may also be for you. That's all for today. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like it, and if you want to be up to date with our latest videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell. We will continue playing in our next video.